Okay, I don't think there's a question on anybody's mind whether or not Boruto Chapter 79 changed the entirety of the story of Boruto, and arguably even Naruto to a certain degree, permanently, or, well, maybe not permanently, but definitely it changed it all in a major way, because, yo, this isn't even a hyperbole type of thing, like, yo, everything's changed because of, small aspect happened. Like, no, everything has literally been rewritten. You could throw the argument whether or not it's a Deus Ex Machina, but nevertheless, the story will never be the same again in any shape or form until, at the very least, what's been done gets undone in terms of what Eida did and Kawaki and just the absolute madness that this chapter was. There's no doubt in anyone's mind whether or not this is the most important and biggest chapter of the entire series, not to mention the fact that this definitely threw everyone for a curveball in terms of how this happened. I mean, granted, I did 2 years ago say, yo, dog, in 2 years, well, I didn't say in 2 years, but I definitely said that, hey, Boruto at some given point is going to basically be the new Sasuke of the series and the villain, so to speak, of the story, and voila. But I definitely never in a million years could have expected that it went down like this, because this was just like, ever since the introduction of this character, Eida in particular, this manga has not been the same. You could argue for better or worse, but the addition of this character has definitely just completely, I don't know if you would call it ratified or just in general swapped everything around, literally and figuratively, moving forward, because yeah, Boruto's the villain, Kawaki's the good guy, Kawaki Uzumaki, and absolute insanity. Let's talk about some of this greatness, baby. I must go. It's time to get out. And before we continue, people, please hit that subscribe button and that bell, because, yeah, this chapter was insane, and I know you're going to want to hear me talk some more Boruto, Naruto, all of that stuff moving forward, so hit them buttons, dog. Do yourself a favor, do me a favor, subscribe. I mean, off rip from the jump of this chapter, as soon as you see the cover page and you see Boruto with the gnarly scar, getting ready, looking like he's heading towards something, you know this is about to be a big one, baby. This ain't just the typical, like, hey, they're hanging out, yo, it's a slice of life type of event. Like, no, you know it's getting real, and of course, if you been following, the previous chapter as well, things is heating up, things is cooking up, and after a couple of years, because let's keep it all the way real, let's keep it all the way honest, I have been following Boruto since day one, covering it in and out. I don't think I missed a chapter, and if I did, it was probably just by a few days of not talking about it, but I don't even think I've ever missed covering a chapter. So with that being said, Boruto has had its ups and downs. We're not going to deny that. We're not going to come here and act like everything that has happened over the last couple years just didn't happen, in terms of, like, yeah, Boruto definitely went to a much slower pace post Ishiki Otsutsuki's arc, but I will say, when it comes to this aspect right here, it definitely seems as though it shook the series up as a whole, and depending on how things go and where things go moving forward, it may have been for the best, and at the same time also could be throwing the argument of, yeah, we let them cook, and look what we got a gourmet meal. So sometimes you got to just be patient, and at the end of the day, we will see, because just because this event was absolutely crazy doesn't necessarily mean that moving forward the manga is going to be 10 out of 10 every single chapter. We got to wait and see about that, but let's dig in, baby, because yeah, the feast right now is magnificent, to say the least. Because of course, following the events of Kawaki slashing Boruto in the eye and getting away, it starts off with, well, Boruto there talking to Momoshiki, and Momoshiki saying, yo, dog, I done told you, fam, I told you, we here, dog, we here. Which, real quickly, now that I think of it, with this chapter and those events that happened, of the swapping and things and whatnot, I wonder if that vision that Momoshiki initially saw was going to be, still going to come to fruition, because at the end of the day, the vision Momoshiki saw was not of what happened in this chapter, but the exact opposite of Mitsuki attacking a different person. So either people are going to quickly be undone from the spell, or a select group of people are going to be undone from this swapping, or this won't be a permanent thing, but just something to note. But again, you read the chapter, so I'm sorry I'm jumping ahead, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to see, because, there's pretty much everybody on the field right now. You got Sasuke there, he's ready to, put Kawaki down, so to speak. You got Mitsuki there, and Mitsuki looks like he's quite a bit upset, and at the same time, Boruto is trying to still keep things together, telling Sarada, like, yo, stick with Mitsuki, he's gonna break Kawaki's bones, okay? He's gonna shatter homie into 3 pieces, like, please stick with Mitsuki. And despite everything and Kawaki trying to hide, Eida's there as she's speaking with Sumide and her bro, like, oh snap, Kawaki needs me, fam. So the Kawaki fangirl herself is like, like, I gotta make my move, dog. And yeah, it's absolutely critical because let's keep it real. If it was just Kawaki on his own right then and there, it would have been a wrap for him. They either would have had him imprisoned or Sasuke probably would have chopped him up or some shit like that because, yeah, like Kawaki on his own, what is he really going to do? So Eida getting into the picture, so to speak, which it all makes sense and it all culminates into this moment. It's like, yeah, dog, Eida essentially changed fate. Like the introduction of Eida to this story is what changed everything, because if she's not here for this event right now, everything goes according to, again, that vision of Mitsuki and Sarada and Chocho and them attacking and going after Kawaki. So Eida, she is like the anomaly, so to speak, which makes me wonder, again, Momoshiki with all that, like acting like he knows everything, but if you didn't see this, if the vision you saw was a bit different, could it be that Momoshiki couldn't see these premonitions because of Eida's existence? Maybe because Eida has some sort of Otsutsuki technology within her. Also kind of funny to note that she just like flies off like a Dragon Ball Z character. Like, Eida is so goddamn broken, dog. She just flies off like, yo, dog, alright, I'm going to find Majin Buu later. Woo! Like, what? And I get it. No, she's totally showcased beforehand that she could fly. We saw, I think, in the train scene after they got off the train with Amado, her and Damon flew off or whatnot, but it still kind of gets me like, what is this, dog? You cannot deny that Eida has been, to our benefit, absolutely, but nevertheless still a massive plot device in Boruto. Like, yo, dog, she's flying away. What? And I know the Otsutsuki as well. We've seen Boruto when he gets possessed by Boroshiki. He flew when he was beating on Boro and all of that jazz, but it's still a little bit much, dog. We went from just regular ninja throwing hands to flying goddesses. Oh, but what about Kaguya? For now, how are you forgetting Kaguya? Just leave me alone, damn it. No, don't leave me alone. Keep watching. And we cannot deny the interesting aspect of Amado yet again, because as all of this is going down and Shikamaru's communicating with Amado, Amado's like, listen, please, not my Kawaki, because whatever the case may be, which more than likely, you gotta just add up, 1 + 1 is 2. If Amado, rewatching the anime definitely will put things into perspective for you. If Amado was talking about that Kawaki is still a host, there's just nobody to come in and take over, like Ishiki, the fact that he is just scrambling, like, listen to me, there's no need to kill Kawaki, there's a way to abruptly chase him out to shut him down. Like, dog, why is he so important to you? I mean, you could throw the argument, there's still there that I've been saying this for a couple years as well, the whole time travel aspect, which is not necessarily time travel, it's more like rewriting history, but, you could throw the argument that Kawaki is necessary for whatever Amado is trying to avert in a certain timeline or a certain dimension or however you want to describe it, but still, it could be that, not my body, fam, that's going to be my body. Think Orochimaru, how Orochimaru was like, yo, dog, Kimimaru is mine, Sasuke's body is mine. Like, yeah, if Boruto, which in its inception was essentially a redo of Naruto, then Amado would be playing the role of Orochimaru trying to get Sasuke's body, except it's not Sasuke, it's Kawaki. And I love how Shikamaru's like, you was holding out on us again, there's a voice command to shut him down and you didn't tell us again, you mother. When Shikamaru's like, yo, that's all good, fam, but nah, we ain't playing around with you no more. Homie just starts flipping out. Hey, hold on, you need to listen to me, Shikamaru. Like, you could tell that this is very important to him, and again, it could be that a certain fate he's trying to avert, or it could be that, yeah, he's on some shady stuff. You can't, exclude completely that he might be Shibai Otsutsuki himself, you know what I'm saying? That's still a possibility. Why Shibai wants to return, I mean, could just be simple as, yo, I just want to be alive again, or it could be that Shibai, this was the only way Shibai could get away, similar to how the only way Ishiki could get away was to hop into the body of the monk Jigen. Maybe Shibai, like, yo, he crash landed on Earth, and the only thing nearby was this dude, and maybe at the time he was even a little kid, Amado, and he took over his body, and he's been plotting and planning ever since on how to get back to, I need to be an Otsutsuki again. And then eventually Eida finally arrives to Kawaki's rescue. She is the knight in shining armor to Kawaki. You could tell that he's down bad. He's like, yo, dog, why are you even here? This is not the time for this right now. They gonna find you. They gonna find you. They gonna no. And you can see that Kawaki is really stressed out about the situation. And another aspect of, like, yo, he's looking at it like, man, why it had to be him out of everybody, because he's the one that is possessed by Momoshiki, and nobody's gonna agree to, like, yo, he's an op, because at the end of the day, that's what Kawaki feels like. Yo, if you got that ticking time bomb that is Momoshiki inside of you, then you're an op. So it's kind of almost a similar thing, which is so weird, because, yo, he's a massive Naruto fanboy, right? Kawaki's the #1 Naruto fan. Like, just think of him in the freaking baseball stadium stand with a finger that says Uzumaki me, Naruto is GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is Kawaki at this point, right? But he doesn't see something that Naruto went up against, and that's the fact that you're discriminating on Boruto because of the chance that Momoshiki can take over and destroy the village, the same way everybody discriminated against Naruto because of him having the nine-tailed fox in him, and that at any given minute the nine-tails could take over and destroy and kill us all. So you could throw the argument, yo, dog, Kawaki, you want some sane BS, and there's a possibility, like, why not find some sort of sealing jutsu to just seal Momoshiki inside of Boruto the same way the nine-tailed fox was sealed? You know, there's still so many endless possibilities on how to deal with this situation, but instead Kawaki's like, nah, dog, we gotta just, you know what I'm saying, we gotta just cut the cord, you know what I'm saying, cut the cord, man. And Kawaki continues to stress to Eida why it'd have to be him, why couldn't it just be a complete nobody, because if it was just, you know, a rando in the Hidden Leaf Village, things probably would have been different. If it was just like, you know, I don't know, the ramen guy or the ramen guy's daughter, things probably would have progressed in a different light. People probably wouldn't have been all gung-ho about like, yo, dog, just relax. But considering it's, again, the Hokage's son, people aren't gonna just let it rock. So Kawaki is really like just upset about the circumstances at hand, that it's not just a nobody. And as Kawaki is pleading on, saying, why couldn't it have been a complete nobody who wasn't the Hokage's son or my brother? No one would mourn if they died, an outsider just like me. And Eida's trying to warn him, like, yo, dog, just relax, chill, bro, you going too far, like, relax. And Kawaki takes it a step further, saying, you've got this all-seen Senrigan, use it to look at me, see me for a powerless piece of garbage that I am. And Eida starts to activate like a Duracell battery. And when she goes off, essentially, there's stuff that we definitely need to examine. For starters, one of the pages, you can clearly see it's like the shape of a moon, of an aura that goes up into the air, which I want to say that this is one of the very first times, if not one of the few times, that we ever see a true look at the landscape of the Naruto world. And on top of that, even at some given point in the next few pages, the globe of the shinobi world. It almost damn near looked like Shenron was summoned, and everybody's reactions following it as well, like, what the hell is going on? But clearly this whole moon thing going into, for starters, Eida having, now that you think about it, wow, it's genius. It's been kind of hinted all along. Her little mini skirt had all of like the planets and moons and stuff like that. Her eyes had the moon, and then now her shooting off the moon from her eyes is going up into the sky. Like, yeah. Even Sumide and Damon are like, yo, what is this? You're getting everybody's reactions to this aspect. But seeing the entire planet with this ring around it and whatnot, kind of looking like Saturn, which is interesting. Is this, I want to say it's Saturn, right? The ring around Saturn. Yeah, I'm thinking of Fat Joe, Lean Back. Or is it Lean Back? I want to say Lean Back, where Fat Joe was like, Pinky got bling like the ring around. No, maybe it was I'm from New York. I don't know. Why am I talking about Fat Joe in the middle of a Boruto video? But this is, I want to say, if not the first time, one of the few times in the history of the Boruto and Naruto story that we're seeing the planet, and we're seeing it in this aspect. Like, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I think we've seen before, because the Otsutsuki come from space, and I know that we saw Tonetti on the moon, so maybe we have seen this beforehand. But in the manga, I don't really remember seeing stuff like this. Or again, it might be one of the very few that we're actually seeing, like, oh snap, so in the Naruto verse, this is supposedly how the planet looks as well. And following the blast letting off, a few random shinobi show up, and they're like, yo, Miss Eida, what are you doing here? And Momoshiki is just cracking up, laughing at Boruto as he's like, yo, what is that flash just now? Like, Momoshiki is, there's a difference between what Naruto had to put up with having Kurama inside of him and what Boruto's putting up with Momoshiki. Like, Kurama was just like, I hate you, you little piece of shit, but leave me alone, I'm tired. And Momoshiki's like, I'm ruining your life, dog, yeah. Or, well, he's not ruining his life, he's kind of just laughing at his misfortune. Like, Kurama would laugh once in a blue moon for the most part. It wasn't really all that frequent, but Momoshiki is just, yeah, you could throw the argument that at this point especially, Boruto is having to put up with a lot more than what, you know, Naruto had to put up with the whole Kurama nine-tailed fox business. Although I feel like there's a possibility, considering, you know, Kurama was just like, again, very distant, so it took how many, 600 plus chapters for Kurama to finally say, fine, let's rock together, while this guy is cognizant of having, you know, just not a human personality. I don't know, it's hard to describe. So maybe there's a possibility at some given point Momoshiki can turn around for things, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's a possibility Boruto just needed to give him a hug. Maybe these Otsutsuki need some hugs. drugs. No. I mean, look at Kaguya. That was kind of a certain aspect of her with her children and whatnot. So there was a certain possibility for Otsutsuki to change if Kaguya changed. Although Kaguya in the end really didn't change because she came back to Earth and did what she did. But you get what I'm saying. And as the search continues for Kawaki, people start talking about like, yo, we found Boruto's location. And Sarada's there like, wait a minute, why is it necessary to share Boruto's location? What's going on here, fam? Because, yeah, the die has been cast. And Momoshiki again just taunting at him saying, hey boy, I'm curious, how's it feel to lose everything? And it's like, wait, what do you mean lose everything? Because yeah, the premonition has happened already. It's a done data, so to speak, of what Momoshiki told him a long time ago after the end of the Boruto Naruto, the movie stuff. It's like, oh. And as Boruto turns around, Mitsuki's about to rush homie. He's like, yo dog, nah. And I'm there like, what? Because Mitsuki goes into sage mode and says, you have truly angered me, talking to Boruto, which is like, why would Boruto have angered you, dog? He ain't do nothing. What did Eida do? And considering I read some spoilers of this chapter and the translations were a bit different, it is interesting to see some of the random shinobi saying things like, Kawaki, how's the eye wound? It looks totally healed now. Like, wait a minute, what the hell are you talking about, dog? He ain't got no eye wound. That was, huh? What? And Eida is quick with the uptake because she says Kawaki's fine, but how's his father, the Hokage? And they're like, yo, dog, we can't find him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, Kawaki. I mean, yeah, maybe some people looked at Kawaki as like the son of Naruto. He's the adopted son, right? Like, that's not too far-fetched for her to refer to him as that. But at the same time, them being just cordial and casual with Eida, considering Eida is also an outsider that they don't trust. It's a little bit sus, but all right. But then it full-on goes into like, what the hell mode? Because Mitsuki starts to question Boruto. What the hell did you do with the 7th Hokage? Just nani? And it's also interesting the fact that out of everybody that is hunting down Boruto, because okay, let's cut them a lark. You read the chapter. Boruto is being basically not necessarily framed, but reality has warped that seemingly they're hunting instead of Kawaki, Boruto. They're hunting him down, everybody including Mitsuki, except Sarada. Sarada's the only one that's like, oh, what are you doing? What? Wait, what? And we get an explanation that this is the true nature of Eida's abilities. A divine power she herself cannot control and brought about by the Shinjutsu omnipotence. Basically, she's a god. Programming language that gods were said to have used to create worlds, the will to make anything real. Basically, her subconscious can create things into reality, like she could reprogram reality, so to speak. There was no way for Amado to know, having only seen the result, concluding that it was in Shinjutsu is understandable, and this current phenomenon is Kawaki's desire becoming reality. And initially with the translations, I thought, oh, he was jealous of Boruto, so this is what he wanted. No, he wanted it to not be the person that he looked at as a brother. He wanted the person that he was hunting down right now and that needed to be stopped in his eyes so that the 7th Hokage could be saved. He wanted it to be, a stranger, so to speak, an outsider, somebody that the village would, rally behind, like, yeah, let's get him. And basically Boruto and Kawaki have switched positions, and Kawaki is with the fam and Boruto is an outsider. Like, what the hell? And I'm still here like, this is the most crazy drastic plot twist I've ever seen in any anime and manga. This is madness, dog. Call it a Deus Ex Machina if you want, but this is something that you could argue has been foretold for a long time. And when Momoshiki said you lose everything, it wasn't necessarily about death. It was more so about the perspective and position that Boruto would be in, and now he is no longer Boruto Uzumaki. He's just Boruto, the same way Kawaki was just Kawaki. Now it's reverse and he's Kawaki Uzumaki. But I will say that Kawaki is a scumbag for taking it even further and saying, yo, let them know that he died at the hands of Boruto the 7th. Like, tell them the truth, dog. And I'm like, you bastard. Let's not forget that Naruto is still alive and well, likewise with Hinata. They've just been sent to a different dimension, which they're probably unaffected by this as well. So if Naruto came back right now, he would be on the side of his son, because you're gonna be like, what are you talking about? That's my son over there. What? And basically Momoshiki breaks it down even further that either way, he is now Kawaki Uzumaki, the Hokage's son, who was born and raised in this village, and you are a lonely outsider who bit the hand that fed him and is being hunted down by Konoha. Just plain Boruto. You get it now? And real quickly, because there's a couple of things that I've been seeing floating around of people saying, well, why is anybody even going to believe this crap? Wouldn't, they be like, yo, he looks straight up like the Hokage. Like, no, that there's something off there. Well, I mean, for crying out loud, Rock Lee looked exactly like my guy, but he wasn't related to him by any means. You know what I'm saying? It could be from the simple fact that, again, if the roles are reversed, right, and he is now Kawaki. Just imagine Boruto is Kawaki, right? Oh, he's a massive Naruto fanboy. Like, he made himself to look like Naruto because he really rocked with him. Like, are those whiskers even real? Those aren't whiskers. Those are markers that he drew on himself. Or maybe, you know, in this timeline of this reality, he had the nine-tailed fox for a period of time as well. But again, he's still not the Hokage's son. It's not even necessarily a suspension of disbelief. It's more so along the lines of, like, things have changed and everybody's perception of Boruto is different now. Everybody's perception of the situation is different. Kawaki has blonde and black hair, so you could easily assume, like, oh, okay, that's Hinata's hair and Naruto's hair. Boruto, oh, he's like Rock Lee to Mike Guy. He's, you know, wearing the green jumpsuit, so to speak, but they're not related. And he took it a little bit too far. Phenomenal chapter of Boruto, incredible chapter of Boruto, the best chapter of Boruto. This switches in everything, and there's such an easy pathway now for this series to thrive, especially in the West, but just in general, internationally and globally, because of this situation. It kind of could be perceived as like, yo, dog, Boruto wasn't working, so they just went in reverse. Like, oh, y'all don't like Boruto being the good kid that's happy-go-lucky? Bet. Let's make him, you know, evil. But yeah, as far as like the whole situation of why don't people look at Boruto like he's the Hokage's son, well, there's that. Also, there's a possibility that some other people don't believe the BS because in that big picture, yeah, you see Sasuke in them, but Sasuke is very perceptive, and a lot of people are going to be like, yo, why would Sasuke go? What a dummy, man. This is terrible. Sasuke wouldn't believe this shit. Who's to say that he does? Like, just think, I don't know, the Garlic Junior Saga of Dragon Ball Z when Piccolo played everyone and they all thought Piccolo was under their control, and meanwhile Piccolo played them. So it could be that Sasuke is just being who Sasuke truly is, not the anime counterpart, and staying quiet, assessing the situation, and trying to figure out, okay, how do we go forward from here? Because clearly this is not the right situation. Also, if Sarada is unaffected, there's a possibility maybe it could be that Uchiha aren't affected, or love makes it unaffected, and kind of like, damn, Shikamaru, so you ain't have no love for Boruto, you know what I'm saying? Like, why for Konohamaru, you dusty mother? Like, what? But I need to know your reactions, your responses, anything and everything to this magnificent, insane, world-changing chapter of Boruto. This is going to, if this doesn't change the perception of the series and take it to where it needs to, especially when it gets animated, then nothing will, because this was a phenomenal plot twist that nobody saw coming. I saw that Boruto would be the villain. I didn't see that it would be due to these circumstances, but at the same time, granted, I didn't know that there was going to be a god tier robot known as Eida on the scene, but yeah. And your overall thoughts and expectations for Boruto with chapter 80 and beyond. Every month now is going to be a grueling wait because holy cow, Boruto's the villain. Kawaki is now the son of the 7th Kawaki Uzumaki. Everyone's hunting Boruto down. This is madness. So laugh for this one, up for that world, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Yeah. If the wolves could talk, they would probably read me, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.